Welcome to episode 28 of Passt X Balestier Khalsa. And I've got with me our main man, Kel, as well. How are you doing, Kel?
Oh my God, I can't believe it's been 28 episodes. When we first started, it was so long time ago. Pre-season, I remember,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then right up till now, almost to the end of the SPL. I'm doing great, Russ. Just midweek Wednesday. Whoever's listening in, thank you for tuning in. Russ, how are you doing?
I'm okay, man. I'm okay. Just pulled my back a bit in the gym, but so
Life,
struggling a bit with that. But
life
yeah,
after life after 40 or
not yet. Close to 40, but not yet. Yeah.
what?
So, do you watch the match, the last match against Tampines Rovers?
I mean, very, very close match in my opinion. But then again, my theory for Balestier Khalsa, it's always been true. I don't know. I'm going to stop saying it. Maybe I'm just, always jinxing them. But, we just needed a stroke of luck. But it didn't happen for us.
Yeah, yeah, almost a 1-1 draw. And I know some people say that Kopitovic dived for the penalty, but the camera angles weren't too clear. So,
I mean, you
what
can't
what
blame
to do?
the Singapore referee and we have no VAR and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
all
yeah,
this
yeah.
can either work for you or work against you. So
Yep,
unfortunately, it just worked against us this time.
yep, yep. That's been the story of our season, as you said. But anyways, we've got people chiming in with comments. Hello, bros. Yasser.
Yes, sir. Big shout out, man.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Yep. Hope you all doing okay. Yep, we're doing fine. Hope you're doing good too. So, anyways, today's episode, we've got a big guest for our episode. I remember when we both went to watch the match against Geylang, you told me that there is a person that is in line for the job as Balestier Khalsa's new coach. He's a
Right,
Southeast Asian technical director. You
right.
mentioned that you read it somewhere. I think it's in the newspaper.
Was in a
Was that?
newspaper.
Yeah. So, and then we were started thinking like, who could this person be? And we went to the stadium, and then we were looking around and thinking, oh, it could be this fellow, it could be that fellow.
Yeah, we were looking around at random at random people. It's like this guy could be the coach.
Yeah, precisely. And little did I know that the person who has been appointed as the coach to replace Akbar Nawaz is someone we've had on our show before, but not this show, on our parent show Back Pass with Russ, when we were previewing the AFF Suzuki Cup. And it's none other than Mr. Peter Diru. Hello, Peter. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
So, of course, since on the back of that show that we did, we've become good friends as well. So it's been a quite interesting friendship we've had. Of course, we bonded over Malaysia, and it's quite telling that today is Malaysia's Independence Day. So any Malaysians listening in, happy
Yeah,
Independence Day to Malaysians. Yeah. So and we bonded over that, and we've spoken. You've shared a lot on tactics and what's going on behind the scenes there. But you're here now at Balestier Khalsa. Just very curious to know, how do you find out about this? I mean, how do you get this job in the first place? And what convinced you to join Balestier?
oh yeah. Well, it's not a exciting story or weird. I was actually in find out about it because I had no idea what was going on. All of a sudden, I get a text from somebody Balestier and asking me, Peter, what at the moment, what are you doing? And honestly, I thought that was just about whatever. And then so I said what I was doing and why I was been doing for the last few weeks and probably what was in the pipe. The next question was, look, our coach asked for a release on his contract, and we have granted him a release. Interested to take over, and that's
Okay. Is that person Darwin?
of course it's yeah. No,
Not
he
himself.
know each other, and yeah, he, what are you doing at the moment? And when I said, look, I'm talking with FIFA about a role that I'm interested in, thinks me, but at the same time, you know, I'm always, and by trade and by nature, I'm a head coach, and this was working very closely with on behalf of FIFA, a very interesting role, but nothing set in stone yet. So, would you be happy to talk about maybe Akbar? I said, yeah, of course, let's talk, and then that's how it.
Okay. And what convinced you to take up this offer then?
I think that there is a few. There's a few things. I have a weak spot for the club. Obviously, I know behind the scenes how hard they work to make the club more successful. Energy they put in. That's one thing. So this was a question: do you want to help? Obviously, you want to help people who put heart and soul in a club, genuine, working their socks off to make this club to a better position. And for me personally, you mentioned that in the introduction, technical director, and I've read it somewhere. I also know, for me personally, footballer, a player and a coach by nature and by trade, but sometimes takes you into situations that track. That happened for me, and I made a deliberate. But I also know that if my next job is going to be again maybe a technical, probably branded a technical director for life. But by nature, this also gives me the opportunity to be on a daily basis with players, working with coaches, and yeah, for me, to be honest.
Okay. And I know you as a technical director, you've done a great job at FAM, and we're thankful to you for that. But what is the difference between the role of a technical director and a head coach?
Obviously, there's a massive difference, but I also think that there is you need to have a clear definition on the two, because there is a very big technical director at a club, let's say in Europe, where you're involved in recruitment deals and all that kind of stuff. Or if you are a technical director, because if I would be a technical director at Cambuur, my old club, or in England, then I would never wear my feet. I wouldn't be directly involved with coaching and with players. What people probably don't realize, as a technical director at FAM, I am mentoring national team coaches. I'm involved in the content and delivery of coaching courses. In Australia, not only national teams, but I was also mentoring the coaches. So I was on a daily basis. I might not have the title head coach, but I was heavily involved in the session, in the to players, in introducing a vision and philosophy. For me, being in that role, especially in Australia, where I'm on a daily basis, coaches and the players, but at the same time, during sessions, made me a better coach, actually. So I understand where you're going with this, with the question. But first of all, technical director, as we think, they operate in I've been at an association, and I've been from a technical director from a full-time national team program, which is a completely different being a technical director at a club, and comes much more closer to being a head coach. And look, I don't want to become too technical, but now look at the competencies that I have. First of all, you need to have a vision and a philosophy. For me, that in part, of course, probably the most important topic, probably one of the things that I've been very much involved in. As a coach, obviously you need a vision and philosophy, and you need to make sure that it's in the player and expanding football knowledge. And then as a coach, you only need, and that is being able to conduct and translate your vision and philosophy. You need to be good at game day, and you need to be good at managing your staff, managing above, managing everybody around you. Basically by doing what I did in the last 10 years, skills have only got better and better. The only thing that I didn't do was game day. If that makes sense. But in terms of vision flow, I've been managing more people than an average coach on a daily basis, and in different cultures. So all these skills have been. I'm better at them than I was, let's say, 5-6 years ago, or 10 years. So yeah, I understand that sometimes people might worry about that, but there's no need for that.
That was actually a very detailed explanation on the difference between a technical director and a head coach.
Yeah, maybe, I think it's important that people, there's a lot of perception in football and assumptions. I go up at Wikipedia and I see technical director. Oh, my God, this thing. That's my core job. It's always been my core job, coaching.
Okay, and now you've entered the final phase of the league season now. How difficult is it to manage a squad that you've not inherited as well? How difficult a task is this now for you?
Obviously, coming in the middle of a season is always a massive challenge. The reality often is that you have not been part of the recruitment, have not been anything, and you come in at the moment where you're more or less with the players that are there, with the staff that is there, because especially at Singapore, as a club, you have to submit your budget before, yes, and obviously during the season you can't. There's not a lot. So I knew that when I was concerned, I couldn't make any changes on what was there. At the same time, the last two games live, one in the stadium, one at home. I've been looking previous games as well, and I still see potential in this group for the rest of the season. At least I think there's a lot of potential within this group of players, and for me it's simple. It's either I have to do it with what's there, and I still think that we can get results.
Okay, so is it results first or the style of play matters at this point?
Yeah, that's a funny one, because you know me a little bit better. My
Yeah.
answer would always be on performance and process, because in the end, if you focus and not get distracted, if you constantly focus on performance and process, in the will lead to results that are based on a plan. At the same time, I know there's only 3 months to go, so in terms of process, there's not a lot of time, but compromise who I am as a coach. So I also think that implementing some things and the way these boys to play, I think that is possible. I will always, but I think we can also that can also lead to results. So there's no I don't. It's either or. I think it can come together. But for me, as a person and as a coach, I will judge the players on performance, and I'm not going to change that. And I'm convinced that can lead to results short term as well.
Okay, and you've already trained on the Toa Payoh Stadium pitch. It's one of the most heavily criticized pitches in the league. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
what do you make about that?
Now, yeah, look, that was a thing. Answer this question though, because I said to us and I said to staff, I'm going to say one thing about the pitch, and that's the last thing I want to speak about it. The more you guys are going to use it for an excuse not to play. Yeah. So the more I mention it, the more I give you room for. But you probably know me, and you know the type and my vision on how to play.
Yeah.
Is the pitch going? Is it going to be an excuse? No, it's not going to be an excuse either. We will deal with it, but maybe we need to start playing possession from back. Maybe we need to do that a little bit different.
Okay, looking forward to that. Kel,
Still
over
going
to
to have.
you.
It's so mesmerizing to hear him speak. Very detailed explanation. Okay, just wanted to. So you took the first training session. You saw the boys. What is your first impression? Are they training well? Fitness levels are there?
Well, I didn't really focus on their fitness level. I just looked at their behavior. I looked at their response to information. Looked at their interaction between each other. And to be honest, the session was more or less a recovery session, and I tried to implement a little bit on how I want to play without actually telling them that yet, because I'm going to do that because I want them to, when we do a presentation for the players tomorrow, I want them last 2 sessions and think, oh, that is why we did this exercise yesterday.
Right.
A moment where they think, oh, we trained with a purpose yesterday. Now I understand what he was, and I discussed that with the staff, because I did the same presentation with the staff, but I want to do it with the tomorrow, so they can think back about the last. This is why we did what we did, and when we were going, I looked at their behavior. I looked at their, who's the leaders in the group, who is trying to also zoom out a little bit, because the more you're in the middle, the more you less the maybe some so Rasif did all the beginning, the warm-ups, the middle part of the session, and I was just and this morning we went a little bit more tactical, and I was actually I was positively surprised by how hard they work in training and how receptive they are. So till now I'm very happy with what they have.
That is actually good news. That's actually good news because last push, final round, so it's going to be quite an ask for you to quickly change the result whatsoever. So Peter, just wanted to we hear a lot of good things about you when you were technical director. How would you describe yourself as a coach or as a manager, and what can the players and the fans expect from you?
Well, first of all, I think I have a very of how I want to play with my teams. And then there is, especially in my case, there is when you have a clear vision on philosophy on how to play, you also know need in certain kind of position, right? Obviously isn't involved in that, so I'm also not ask players things to do that they can't do. At the same time, I don't want to move things that I believe in that will get us results. So I think I have a very clear idea on how to play. That describes me a little bit as a coach is that I'm very good. I'm very good. I'm very big on dynamics and a culture within the dressing, within the staff, high standards. I really want to raise the bar. I mean, being a professional player, there's a lot of things that you shouldn't be taking that for granted. There's a lot of people who pay tickets to watch you, and the least we can give them is 100% effort and give them something to be proud of. In the end, we play football because people come and watch games. So, work ethics, stuff like that, very, very important to me. Again, Raz mentioned already, process and for me an indicator whether we can be successful rather than short-term results with players on their intent rather than the outcome of an action. If we, for instance, say when we lose the ball, we want to be back as quickly as possible, or we want you to the opponent cannot play a forward pass. I would judge a player whether he lost the ball or not. That can happen. But what is he doing after? Stopping the forward pass? Or is he going to feeling sorry for himself that he lost the ball? So players, I think, will notice very quickly that I'm everything that's in your control. Make sure that you control that. Don't worry about it. The weather, the pitch, the referee. Don't get it. There's the 4 main moments in a game. You know what your task is. That's where you will judge you on. Whether you lose the ball while you try to make the right decision. That's part of football. We all make mistakes. I make them. Players will do what we train and what we work on. Anything else, time on that is not relevant.
So hearing what you say, I think you're clearly very defined coach, all about control and also very clear in what you want to do, and you try to relate that to your players. And I know it's just like you mentioned earlier, you only went for a recovery session, but did you see any spring in a step of any players? The new manager is coming in. Everybody wants to impress you now. The first 11 has thrown out, and it's all up to you. Any players in particular have impressed you so far?
Nah, I'm not the type of person that will go into individual play. But as you say, when you are new, everything is and there is a certain vibe and a certain expectation, and it feels different. I know how that works, but it's quickly as well. So you're coming from, but I would like to answer the question. I have seen games of Balestier before I started training. Yes, I see quite a few players who I think have a lot of potential. Probably
Right.
a little bit more help and more structure and a little bit more confidence in their own ability. There's some very good young players, and again, they sometimes get singled out in the press. I don't want to do that right now. We all know what kind of players we talk about. There's players in the squad.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. There are a couple of good, real ballers in the Balestier team. All right, Peter, the next game, it's a home game, but it's the big one. It's against the very talented, the Japanese team, Albrechts Niigata. How are you feeling? Are you excited? It's your first game in a dugout, and it's a home game.
Well, my my guys up front, like John, play against the fellows, right, from Japan.
Yeah.
I looked at 2 or 3 games once because I didn't want to go too far back, and look at it 2 ways. We are a team that's on the bottom, and we can play against the top team. I reckon this is the moment. I mean, it's a great challenge for us. I don't think Balestier has 2 years, 2, 3 years, not sure. I've seen some very big score lines, but look, we need to be brave, and we need to show that we don't fear anyone in this league. And I think we can get, we have the potential to give any team in this, even the top 2 teams, but we got to play with a little bit more hard and brave in our decisions. And so we can make it Albrechts very difficult this Friday for sure, especially.
You probably saw a couple of games, not only in Balestier games, but the games in the SPL in general now are having scores like the street soccer. When we're playing street soccer, I think
Futsal.
Hougang and Lion, futsal was 9-4,
Futsal
and
scores.
futsal scores, and the scores are insane now. It's like, I think the average goal per game is like 2 or 3 now, which is a real high scoring match. So I know we spoke about Balestier. You saw Balestier's game. You know a bit of Albrechts. I think you probably have an understanding of the SPL. You have seen a couple of teams. Have the teams in general in the SPL impressed you this season?
I got to be always very careful when I answer these questions. To me, I see a lot of similarities with Super League. one of the reasons that there are because a lot of games are really transition games, and without criticizing coaches but look between a striker and a central defender, that's almost 60-70 meters. I have the ball and we start attacking, but my midfield central defenders are 80 meters behind. If I lose the ball, how can I? So you see a lot of games switching from left to right, and a game in the SPL and look at the distances through top football is less than half. You know what I mean? The things that I really notice, the intensity and the distances between lines and players. If you don't organize that properly, then it really games that go from really transitioning games. Counter if your attack is not protected when you lose the ball. That is probably one of the biggest things and differences I've noticed in Malaysia as with most of the teams here. And but when I look at the ability of the players, I think this league can be better than what it is right now. There is a lot of good players in Singapore, but they maybe need a little bit better guidance and help.
Yeah, that's one really, like, that's very well put by you. So
I had half Malaysia falling over me when I once said that the league is not a reflection of the quality of the players, but I think quality of the coaches. But the coaches are also to blame because their environment, and in Malaysia and in Singapore, I'm sorry to say it, have let the coaches down with the level of coach education. They've been ready to give courses for 30, 40 years, but they have never, and coaching is not the same as it was 30 or 40 years ago. Still, for coaches and so we have failed the players, we have failed the coaches. In Malaysia, they have seen that now. In Singapore, they start to see it, and I recognize that 4 or 5 years ago when Andy Roxburgh came in and all these guys came introduced coaching conventions, and to basically leave it up to the members and write your courses, send it to us, we will have it assessed. So the quality of it is addressed at the moment, but a lot of more or less a product of coach education. How that is not good enough anymore.
Wow, very interesting.
And
very interesting.
Good to see that all of the coaches now in the league, they are on a first pro license for the first time in Singapore, arranged Singapore, and I know the people behind it. I think it's going to be an eye opener, and it's going to be looking at the future. It's going to have an impact on the quality of the league, because better football starts with better coach education.
Yeah, speaking about coach, the weird thing about even Singapore national team, our national team coach is quite a random hire, I would say. That's in my opinion. I'll just put it out there. There are so many talented managers out there you could get, but they got a random hire. But that's me. But what you say about like coaching is absolutely true.
I'm not going to say anything bad about FAS. For sure.
No, no, not me as well. I just said a random hire.
No,
My bad.
honestly, I don't know, but I really think that a national team coach job, you got a person that you can find for that job. If that's a foreigner, it's a foreigner. And Singapore coach, it should be Singaporean, in my opinion. But maybe first, and we got to start there. You can't continue with bringing in foreigners. We need to make sure that we develop our own. And and I hope national team coach really is going to be a Singaporean. I also see that in the league now. Um, um, but they probably to become the national team head coach. But the ability and the potential is there in Singapore. We need, sometimes to reach your potential, it's not good enough to have fun and the attitude. You need the opportunities to develop, and that means big competition. That is coach education, but there's a lot of talent in Singapore in terms of players, in terms of coaching. It's not defined by your place of birth or your date of birth, but the opportunities to develop that talent, and I think that has been lacking for players and time. And hopefully we can fix that, and the next national team is Singaporean, because that's how it should be.
100%, Russ.
Right. Yep. Okay, Peter. I think we're done with the questions. We're gonna do some fun questions now. Take it easy.
Okay.
So I got 10 quick fire questions for you, and then Kel's got something for you as well. So first up, your favorite food.
Uh,
Pardon? I
Say that
didn't get
again.
that.
Nasi lemak.
Nasi lemak. Oh, of course, Malaysia's nasi lemak is better, right?
It's a no-brainer. You know that.
Yeah. Favorite drink.
Yeah, that's going to sound boring, but that's water.
Okay, that's same as
We heard
me.
that
We're
before
friends.
a couple of times.
That's why we're friends. Movies or series? What do you like watching?
Series.
Okay. Anything you're watching right now?
Yes, but the last couple of days have been a circus, so I television. I was watching a series, a Danish series called. Yeah, it was a little bit a thriller, and I forgot the name.
Okay. All right.
Right?
Your favorite football club?
Yeah, probably the club from the city that I was.
Which is Ajax?
Ajax, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Born in Amsterdam, I
Favorite
got
We give you that. We
favorite
give you that.
favorite female celebrity?
Oh my god. I would say Lady Gaga.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, that's interesting.
that's
I
a
thought I
interesting.
thought you'll go a bit old school, but okay. Favorite music genre?
Oh my god. I like that. What I'm gonna say there? Nowadays, except rap.
Okay. You like everything except rap.
Yeah, that's. I think I don't get rap. No.
Okay.
Oh,
You mean
actually,
the rap? You
I
mean
do.
the rap these days? Yeah, not the one previous.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. The rap and hip hop these days, horrible. In fact, it's a very interesting thing. Have you been with the boys in the dressing room? Have you heard the music they play?
Um, No, I tried to. Well, now I will be there tomorrow afternoon, but I try to stay away from else. That's how do you say that? That's a place for the players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Uh,
They're big reggaeton fans in
and
there.
ball you know what I mean. But look, let me tell you one thing. Do and have the music on before that on match day, and I don't like it, then I'm gonna put my USB stick.
Okay. All right. If you could go back in time, which era would you like to relive?
Oh, yeah, probably my time as a professional player, and not because you know, yeah, the reason I would like.
Oh,
We lost you there.
Peter. Oh well, guys, this just a small
Blip.
network blip, and
Yep.
we have officially. Oh, he's back. He's back.
He's back. He's back.
Okay,
He's back. Yes, Peter.
Yep.
I'm not sure where I was. Yeah, I regret the fact that I took a lot of things for granted during my career, and thinking, wow, they were special moments, but did I really enjoy that? No, it wasn't what I mean.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I sometimes thinking, Jesus, I don't even remember that promotion, or some glimpses, but I should more than I actually did, rather than go through the motions and take things for granted.
Hmm. So that's in the 90s, right? When you were a professional
Yeah,
footballer.
I debut, I think, in '89 when I was 19, and my last game I played. Yeah, that was the '90s. Actually, a big era in Dutch football.
Yep,
Hmm.
90s a big era.
Yeah, of course. I would like to relive the 90s too.
That
Great.
was in those years, league, know, hasn't happened for a long time after.
Yeah. Also, it's quite interesting to know. Not many people know this, but you actually played alongside and against some really good players. Can you just share some of the names of the players that you've played against?
Yeah, and maybe for the Man United fans, I played a lot in Van Nistelrooy. Uh, and for the Arsenal fans, Overmars, Glenn Helder, Bergkamp, Liverpool. Let me think about it. Hippia. Do you know him?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sammy
yeah, of
Hippia.
course.
Obviously played a few years in Holland for who are the Dutch guys that we have there?
We had Mark van Bommel, right? You played against him, or
For sure, yeah, a lot of times, yeah. We were not the best of friends on the.
I think he's a nasty player. Was he a nasty player?
The reason why we didn't really didn't get along on the pitch was because we were players. We both, yeah.
Okay, you're both nasty. All right. Your all-time favorite player?
Um, yeah, yeah. For me, the real Ronaldo, and probably looking at my Dutch background, yeah, it was Marco van Basten for me.
Oh, Van Basten, yeah. Van Basten and Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo. Do you play against Ronaldo?
No, because No, I didn't. I don't think I played. We had a Brazilian at PSV before he arrived, Romario.
Yeah,
So I
Romario.
played against Ronaldo. No,
Okay.
I think he was 1 or 2 seasons, and then Romario obviously played a few years longer in Holland. But
Mm. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Romario was also in PSV. And Marco and Baston, you played against him?
No, they are more or less like the generation that's to you before. That's a generation before me. So I'm the
Okay.
generation like Van Gaal, Nistelrooy, Kluivert. That's a little bit my
Oh,
generation.
Okay.
The generation was like Koeman, Gullit, Van Basten. So when they went to AC Milan just a couple of years before,
Mm.
right.
debut in '89, Marco left for Milan. So I missed all that generation. I missed because they were just all.
Okay. All right. Cool, man. So that's some, of world football's who's who.
From
Okay.
Mr.
Over to
Peter
you,
in the
Kel.
room. And so, Peter, just finally before we wrap up, your first 11 or your main 11 all-time favorites, starting with the goalkeeper. Maybe you can start with the formation. How would you set up, and your all-time favorite 11?
Yeah. Oh my God. Obviously, in my there's two types of goalkeepers, and there is a real shot stoppers, line and Schmeichel, and you have the type of goal probably also a little bit better in modern football, and there's a few more. So I think you first need to choose. I think at the moment, modern football, I would go for the group of goalkeepers, and then it could be people like Neuer. I always rated him, but let's go because I don't want to. Let's say Neuer.
Neuer, yeah?
All right.
Okay. Defenders?
Defenders, I'm a big fan of Franco Baresi.
Mm.
Not the biggest, but the way he really incredibly smart. Never got involved in
Yeah.
stuff that you don't want to do on the ball. Defensively, positioning wise, very good. Um, Next to him, to make it maybe an ideal combination. Maybe not as good on the defensively unbeatable. Jaap Stam maybe.
Oh, that's a good defensive central
That
defensive.
would be a good combination. Those
Yeah.
two. Yeah, Franco the brains. You know,
Yeah.
right fullback. Always been a big fan of. Um, um, right fullback and left fullback have changed enormously over the last 15 years. Um, who would I pick as a right fullback? Um, what's what's the Brazilians? Is that Cafu?
Cafu.
Cafu, yeah.
Yeah, I would. And on the left, I'll holding midfielder. Oh my God! Also the role
Who you got as left back?
uh, Alba.
Alba.
Oh, Alba. Okay.
Yeah, you don't rate him, I hear.
I don't rate normal modern day players.
Ross is like, Alba is too modern for me.
You are led by emotion and nostalgia. I know. But look, I got you Franco Baresi, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. And Yap Stam, yeah.
Holding midfield. I think a lot from 20 years ago till now. You mean about the playmaker was your number 10, right? The playmaker nowadays is because the you know the spaces have changed totally in football. When I look now at the holding midfielder, the little fellow from Chelsea, like him.
Kante.
Okay.
Yes, of course.
Right.
Up top, probably. Yeah, I have to go with Marco van Basten then. Number 10.
So you only got one midfielder?
No. I skipped to midfield. I bought myself some time to think about it.
You went one midfielder, one striker. There is okay. Let me think about the rest now.
Let's put as an 8 Edgar Davids.
Okay.
As a 10 Kaka.
Okay.
Oh my God. Wow. I really didn't expect this question. Who would I put on the left?
Overmars, maybe?
Yeah, but if you put so many Dutch players in that team, why did they never become world champion? I cannot sell that. It's got to be a foreigner. It's just person as left winger. Oh my God! And let me help going back to your favorite era. Now, who would you put you there, Rash?
Ryan Giggs?
I knew he was gonna say Giggs.
Ryan Giggs? Did you say Ryan Giggs?
Yeah, right? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, probably. No, no, you're right. I'll give you Giggs. Okay, right and Cantona.
Right is Cantona?
Yeah, why not?
Right.
As
Okay,
a false
that's
wing,
interesting. Cantona on the right.
false wing. It's obviously not have Cafu behind him. So, creates the space and releases Cafu. Yeah.
Inside winger.
That's good. Anyways, there's one comment from your player.
No. Who?
Hyrule Shirhan says he looks like Jason Statham from the movie Transporter. I think it's called. Is it Transporter or Train Spotter? No.
No, transporter.
Oh my God! I take that.
Take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment, man.
He wants to start the game. That's it.
He wants to. Friday, Hyrule wants to start the game.
Yeah.
And then we have a reply now.
I've got a reply from another teammate of his teammate Madhu has said, Hyrule, you're gonna sit on the bench.
Yeah. I think that's fair. That's fair enough.
Hyrule's gonna delete his comment now. He's like, oh my God, how do I delete this off?
All right. Peter, thanks a lot for taking the time to speak to us. Always a pleasure.
No worries. No.
Yep. So anyone else watching in Balestier Khalsa is playing at home? Oh, you got
Peter,
something.
sorry, before we end, the last time we actually had the interview with you, I'm not sure if you remember. I was pointing it out to Ras. You guys had like a 15 minutes conversation on this player called Dybala or Dipola. Dipola. You had this long conversation about him. Any chance we get to see him in the Balestier team?
Sorry?
Any chance we get to see Dipola play for the Balestier team?
Nah, not when I'm there. No.
I'm just kidding.
I will question you big time if you play him. If you sign him and play him.
Ras will have sleepless nights.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
All right.
sorry. I'm just joking. Yeah.
It's been fun. It's been fun. Thanks a lot, Peter, for joining in the fun. Kel, will you be there on Saturday? Not Saturday, on Friday night, 7:45 kickoff at Topai Stadium.
I'll be there in my heart and soul, but I'll
No,
also be streaming it
that means you're
from
not gonna be there.
YouTube. Yes, but yeah, definitely catching it on YouTube now with the games streaming on YouTube. Very, very convenient to
Hmm.
watch the game live.
Okay, so I'm hoping to be there. I hope if all goes well, I should be there for the game at Topayu Stadium. So see you there, Peter. And cheers. Have a good one. So let's not keep him away from his dinner as well. So
Right.
this is us signing out. Ciao. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.